And welcome back to Street Switch Photography. You can read the actual title of this video, so let's get to it.
Street Switch Photography.
And welcome back to Street Switch Photography. We've just had some news, basically, that I found on the internet, and it's to do with Charlie Kirk's killer, and there's a lot of interesting information. It's actually quite fascinating. What's actually happened is I've been watching GB News and watching a couple of other bits on the internet and stuff, and they've actually released photos of the suspect or a person of interest of the actual killer. So let's head over to this website just here and let's have a listen to what the FBI are actually saying.
Track the movements of the shooter. Starting at 11:52 a.m., the subject arrived on campus, shortly away from campus. We have tracked his movements onto the campus, through the stairwells, up to the roof, across the roof to a shooting location. After the shooting, we were able to track his movements as he moved to the other side of the building, jumped off of the building, and fled off of the campus and into a neighborhood. We do have good video footage of this individual. We are not going to release that at this time. We are working through some technologies and some ways to identify this individual. If we are unsuccessful, we will reach out to you as the media and we will push that publicly to help us identify them.
This morning I can tell you that we have recovered.
So they know who this person is. They're trying to use AI facial recognition to actually identify him. They've actually found the weapon used. It was described as a hunting rifle, and on the case of the actual bullet cartridge, the actual case, it had let's just say trans ideology and far left ideology, anti-fascist inscribed, writing on it. So to say this isn't the far left would be an understatement. This is the far left, and what's happened is they have left 2 children and a wife without a father. This guy was a prodigy of his time, and what has actually happened is this idiot, this brainwashed moron, this, I don't know how else to actually describe him, but is a disgusting individual, has decided and taken it upon himself to actually do something about it and take this man's life because he spoke the truth, because this guy couldn't handle the truth, because he couldn't get it through his head that what Charlie Kirk was actually saying was actually true. Now, when it comes to far left ideology, usually what happens is you'll start debating them and they'll start screaming and shouting at you and they'll start getting violent because obviously they can't win the debate. They can't win the argument. And again, to leave these kids without a father, to leave his wife without a husband, and as I said, he is a prodigy of his time. Not many people were doing or were able to do what Charlie Kirk actually did. He was basically tipped to be the next president of the United States of America. So somebody wanted rid of him, and it happened. Again, this is definitely far left. 100% far left. And I find it sickening. Absolutely sickening. I've watched the video. It's freely available online. I think it's on X, it's on other channels and stuff like that. I wouldn't suggest you watch it, especially the up close one. It's very graphic. I've never seen anything like that. Now, the shot was taken from 200 yards away from a roof of a building that was close by. And even I was convinced that it was a professional hit. Now, with all the information that's coming out, this is why I've held off on doing a video about this. Now, with all the information that's come out, it seems it wasn't so professional. This guy is probably somebody that's used to hunting. A 200-yard hit on a deer would be a pretty easy shot to take. So, judging that this guy has actually gone out of his way, he's inscribed these bullets and everything else and done everything that he needs to do, he has gone out of his way to actually take this man's life in an unprofessional manner. He's left so much evidence and so much of a trail behind him is on camera, and there are actual well, there are actual photos of this guy. So let's have a look at the video and see if they released the photos or not.
That was used in yesterday's shooting. It is a high-powered bolt-action rifle. That rifle was recovered in a wooded area where the shooter had fled. The FBI laboratory will be analyzing this weapon. Investigators have also collected footwear impression, a palm print, and forearm imprints for analysis.
Suspect blended in well with a college institution. We're not releasing many details right now, and we will soon. But
I wonder if it was a student. Now that's me sort of thinking. So don't take that for gospel, because we simply do not know. But there have been images of this guy released.
Right now we're not. But that individual appears to be of college age.
This was a targeted event. We don't believe that the community is at risk. However, we are exhausting every resource to find him.
I personally think the whole world's at risk of these individuals, the far left. Now, I'm not saying it's the left. I'm saying it's the far left. And the reason I'm saying that is basically because, you know, they have this brainwashed ideology that they believe, and they live in this make-believe world. I'm just going to type this into the Google search. This is a photo of the guy just here. These are the photos they've got. This is the suspect, or the person of interest, and it's an actual YouTube channel by the looks of it, so I'm going to have to go back here and get rid of that. So yeah, he's wearing big aviator type sunglasses, what looks like an Adidas or some sort of sports black cap, a t-shirt with what looks like an American flag on it. So he's dressed to blend in. He's actually dressed to blend into the background here. Nobody would have noticed him. But obviously they had plenty of CCTV. They had plenty of people there with camera phones and everything else. And it's just a really sad situation. Again, I didn't do a video on this because basically I wanted to get a few facts straight first, instead of just releasing a video and saying that 1 minute this guy's been caught, then he hadn't, then he has, then he hasn't. You know what I mean? This is a person of interest. They don't know 100% sure that this is the guy that did it yet. So let's just bear that in mind before any more accusations are made. But my thoughts are with Charlie Kirk's family, his 2 daughters, and the rest of his family, and each and every individual that followed this guy will be mourning this for some time. Now, in America last night, there was a vigil held for Charlie Kirk. They put the flags at half-mast, and a fight broke out. Now, I want to make this very clear. Whilst I don't advocate for violence, I never have, I never will. The fight broke out because I think a load of lefties or something like that turned up at a vigil. At a vigil for a man that had just had his life taken, and you know, it's not going to go good in America. I would absolutely dread to think that this would end in any type of civil war. In America, we know what the gun laws are, and it's not good. It's not good. What needs to happen, and I think Trump should be looking at the gun laws, and everybody will argue the Second Amendment, the First Amendment, and all the rest, the right to arms and all the rest of it. It clearly is a problem. It clearly is a problem. They've cut down, they've done certain things, but they'll be coming out with, you know, it's not, guns don't kill people, people do. And silly rhetoric like that. But it does take somebody to pull the trigger, and the gun is you're not going to go and jab somebody like that with your finger and kill someone, are you? I don't know, unless you're Bruce Lee or bloody Jackie Chan, I don't know. But yeah. Anyway, this has been Street Switch Photography. That is the latest on the Charlie Kirk assassination. It wasn't a professional hit. The gun cases were inscribed with LGBTQ4K rhetoric and anti-fascist rhetoric. So now it's 100% proven that it was the far left ideology that's actually done this. Now, if you go and look at my short, some of the actual comments online about this, that the left is, this TikTok posts and all sorts, is absolutely abhorrent and disgusting. And I've read some of them, and I got about 4 or 5 down, and I couldn't read anymore. I couldn't read it. Because they're on about Ben Shapiro. Is it Ben Shapiro? Whatever his name is, and what's that other guy's name? There's another guy as well that does it, does these types of talks at universities and everything else, and it's just not a good situation all round, and it's affected the whole of the West, because this could quite easily happen again, because there's that many of these psychologically fucked up lefties out there that who knows what's going to happen. But now it's time to take a stand. The thing is not to go to civil war. We need to show people that we are peaceful. We need to show people that we can remain calm in any situation, and we do not need to give them the satisfaction of us going back at them. That is the most important thing, because there's going to be somebody sat there right now scratching the palms like this, thinking, come on, somebody do something, and then we can have a police state and all the rest of it. That's the ideology. That's how this big globalist, socialist ideology works. Marxist, communist, whatever you want to call it. So this has been Street Switch Photography. If you enjoy this video, please like and subscribe. Go and hit the notification bell. Please leave a comment. Even if you don't like it, give me a big thumbs down and leave a comment. Any sort of disrespectful, targeted comments will be deleted. I won't even bother answering them because I can't be arsed, and that's my own thought towards it. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.
Street Switch Photography.